Jorge looked at Jorge looked from Fidelito to Matt with an interested look in his eyes. "Go sit down," Matt said in a low voice. "Stop," shouted the keeper. "I see we have a social contamination of the worst order here. The aristocrat has turned this boy into his lackey, and thus it is the lackey who should be punished." "A beating would kill him," said Matt. "No one is too little to learn the value of education," Jorge said. "Why, even the child kings used to be thrashed until they learned not to cry at public meetings. As young as 6 months of age." "He's got me," thought Matt. No matter how much he wanted to resist Jorge's authority, he couldn't do it at the little boy's expense. "Very well, I confess," said Matt. "I dropped the soap in the shower and didn't pick it up again. I threw the porridge... Sorry. I threw away the porridge because there was a stink bug in it. And," the keeper said pleasantly, "I peed in a shrimp tank. Don't ask me which one. I don't remember. And I left the water running in the kitchen sink." Assume the position. Matt did so, hating himself, but hating the keeper even more. He kept a stony silence as Jorge pranced around trying to work on Matt's nerves, and he didn't scream, although he wanted to very much when the man hurled himself across the room and struck him with a force that made him almost pass out with pain. He straightened up and endured another blow, and another. After 6 blows, Jorge decided he'd done enough, or, more likely, the keeper had exhausted his strength beating up Tauntaun. Matt figured he'd been lucky, but he didn't doubt that more agony was down the road. Jorge wasn't going to give up that easily. Matt staggered to a bunk and collapsed. He was barely aware of Jorge's departure, but the instant the door closed, the boys scrambled off their beds and clustered around Matt. "You were great," they cried. "Jorge's such a loser," said a tall, skinny boy named Flaco. "Loser?" said Matt weakly. "I'm the one who gave up." "Chale, no way," said Flaco. Jorge crossed the line tonight. If news of this gets back to the keeper's headquarters, he's history." "No one's going to tell them," Chacho said scornfully. "This place might as well be on the moon." "Soon I'll be old enough to leave," said Flaco. "I'll go to the headquarters and tell them." "I'm not holding my breath and waiting," Chacho said. "Anyhow, you were muy bravo to take the beating for Fidelito," Flaco told Matt. "We thought you were a wussy aristocrat, but you're really one of us." "I kept telling you that," Fidelito piped up. Then everyone started arguing about when they discovered Matt wasn't a wussy aristocrat, and when they knew he was muy gente, a great guy. Matt let the warm tide of their approval flow around him. He was dizzy with pain, but it was worth it if the others liked him. "Hey, we've got to get him fixed up," Flaco said. The boys checked the hallway to be sure it was clear. Then they carried Matt to the infirmary where Tauntaun was already sound asleep. A pock-marked boy in a green uniform dressed Matt's wounds and measured 3 drops of liquid into a spoon. "That's laudanum," Matt realized as his eyes caught the label on the bottle. He fought against taking the medicine. He didn't want to turn into a zombie like Felicia or die like poor Furball, but he was too exhausted to resist for long. If he died, Matt wondered, as he drifted off into a drug-induced haze, would he meet Furball in whatever afterlife non-humans inhabited? And would the dog sink his teeth into Matt's ankle for taking him away from Maria? So those last couple sentences actually take us into Matt's mind a little bit. It seems like he still thinks he's an animal of some sort, right? Because would he meet Furball in whatever afterlife non-humans inhabited? That means he still considers himself not human. Also, he still blames himself for taking Furball away from Maria, even though it was Felicia who technically killed Furball. Matt still feels guilty because he made that possible for her. He wasn't careful enough. He didn't realize there was a secret passageway and a room with cameras that were all around the house. But one thing that's good from this chapter, it seems like Matt is no longer enemies with the other boys that are stuck on this plankton factory. And they're actually almost treating him like a hero now. So it'll be exciting to see what happens next time. in chapter 31 of The House of the Scorpion.